What's up, guys? It's me, Jay the Rebel, back here, and today I'm gonna be going over the fruits of the Spirit, so you guys could know how to walk this walk, so you guys could know what to do in this walk, how to walk with more humble spirits in you, and have discernment to know what people have the fruits of the Spirit. And long story short, I'm gonna just get started with it because I'm gonna put this at the 10-minute mark. So the first one we're going to start with is patience. When you have the spirit of patience, you'll find yourself being more patient. You'll find yourself not rushing that much into things that you really don't want, but you just want for a certain season to, I would say, keep your mind occupied, have attention from certain people. But one of the fruits of the Spirit is patience, because when we have patience, better things come, and better opportunities come our way instead of rushing into things quickly. The devil likes to have you in a rush, but God likes to have you patient. It's just the opposite. And you notice when you're rushing into things, you get things you don't want, and it only lasts for a little time. But when you be patient with certain things, right? Things start to last a little bit more longer because you waited, you don't put time into being patient, and God will bless you more in a way where you won't lose these things really quick because you earned it by being patient. And that's one of them. And the second one, and that's in 1 Timothy 6 verse 11. If I don't put it up here, I'm gonna put it in the description. But just look into that verse, 1 Timothy 6:11. It talks about that in the verse. It says, "Follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, and peace." So we should be following after that, and we should be having that spirit in us. The next one is love. And it says that in 1 John 4 verse 7, it says, "Be loved. Let us love one another, for love is of God." When you have love in your heart, you're carrying that spirit around you. You're carrying that certain spirit that has love. And I'm not talking about this new type of love. Everybody want to project toxic love, showing love in an angry way, showing love in a frustrated way. I'm talking about real genuine love. Real genuine love don't hurt. And just like I said with patience, the opposite of love is hate, evil, jealousy, and all types of bad spirits. And we're supposed to be having the fruits of the Spirit when we're walking with God, because God have love. God doesn't have hate or evilness in his heart for us. And though that's another one that's on a list of fruits of the Spirit. And we should be caring for one another. We should be wanting to be close to one another. No matter how much, people have hurt us, we should still be wanting to help and preach the word and to share the word and to share the gospel out to people. And the next one I'm going to get into is joy. That's another fruit of the Spirit, joy. When you have joy, God has joy. So we're supposed to have joy in our heart also. And it says that in, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Habakkuk 3:18. It says, "I will rejoice in the Lord. I will joy in the God of my salvation." And I don't think I said that right, but you know what I'm trying to say. We supposed to have joy no matter what we're going through. No matter what trial and tribulations we have to face. We're supposed to be having joy because those are one of the fruits of the Spirit. And what's the opposite of joy? I would say being mad all the time, being angry all the time, wicked, having a frown on your face just 24/7. It's okay to be angry sometimes, and but it's not good to have it unbalanced. We should always have our spirits balanced, and we should always be wanting to have joy, because it's not good to walk around with a frown. You know, you start to make yourself into that person. And the more you start to frown daily, the more you become like that. And the more you become like that, you start to live like that. And it'll be harder to change the more you keep being like that. And I'm going to go on to the next one. The next one is peace. And what I was saying is the next one is peace. And it says that in Psalms 29:11. It says, the Lord will give strength unto his people. The Lord will bless his people with peace. When you have the fruits of the Spirit, and when you're at a certain level with God, he'll give you a certain type of peace where it's not a peace from money. It's not a peace from achieving things worldly. Or I'll say it's not a peace where you gotta get high or get drugged out, or I'll say something like that. It's not that type of peace. It's an overwhelmingly peace where, you know, sometimes it make you cry, it make you tear up. I would say sometimes it even make you tremble, because, you know, it did that to me sometimes. You know, the overwhelming peace that come over you, it'll make you like, whoa, like you start to feel like you're on something, but you're not. It's just, you know, God is blessing your heart with overwhelming peace. And that's one of the fruits of the Spirit, because when you have that fruit in you, that's a good spirit. And what's the opposite of peace? What the devil wants you to have? He wants you to not have peace. He wants to destroy you. He wants to keep you in sin, and he wants to keep you not peaceful. He wants to keep you, you know, just down all the time. And that ain't the fruit of the Spirit. The fruit of the Spirit is peace, because peace comes from God, and God give you peace. And what does the devil like to give you? Problems. He likes to drown you in your ways, and he likes to drown you like how he's drowning the road. So be careful, and be careful to discern what people have in their heart, because, you know, somebody could just look normally, and, you know, somebody could just be normal, but their fruits are bad. You know, their fruits are not humble. Their fruits are all bad. And, you know, we shouldn't be around those type of people. We should be around these type of people. And if God hasn't blessed you with these type of people, then you just need to be by yourself until God bring those type of people around you, because we can't be around people that's going to corrupt our good manners. And I'm going to go into that in another video. And what's the next one? Goodness. And it says that in Psalms 33, verse 5, the earth is full of goodness of the Lord. And when you have goodness in your heart, right, you'll find yourself doing good things instead of bad things. You'll find yourself doing more godly things instead of evil things, wicked things, things that you see other people do, this new generation do, you know, put bad things in people's ears, or killing people, murdering people, putting it in their rap. Just, it's all over the place, you know. And we should be all having goodness in your heart. And, you know, somebody could say they believe in God, somebody could say they follow God, but their fruits are totally different. You know, sometimes our lips don't match up with our actions. We got to have our actions match up with the scriptures, with the fruits of the Spirit, because we could be being lukewarm out here and don't even know it. And we could be serving two masters, and we can't serve two masters. We can only serve one. And it's only either or. Either you have good spirits in you, or either you got bad spirits in you. And we're going to go to this side, because, you know, I got to get a bigger whiteboard. You know, I just got this, you know, just a little cheap one until, you know, I get a bigger one. And I'm going to have a bigger one on that wall. And, you know, I just wanted to, I kind of tried to squish. I know you guys can't probably see the words, but as long as you guys are hearing me say it, that's all that matters. I'm going to get into the next one. Hold on. The next one is kindness. We're all supposed to be having kindness in our heart. And it says that in Ephesians 4, verse 32. It says, and be ye kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me, I just had to sneeze. My bad. But again, we're supposed to be having kindness in our heart. And we're supposed to be having gentleness in our heart. Because what's the opposite from kindness? Not being kind, being mean to each other, not helping one another, just being totally wicked. And that's what the devil wants you to have. And these are one of the good fruits of the Spirit, is kindness. And what are bad fruits of the Spirit? What's the opposite from kindness? Answer that for yourself. And see if God is speaking to you through me. I'm right? So kindness is one of the good fruits, because you'll know how to be kind no matter how much people may hate you, no matter if people give you a certain look, just walk away, still be kind, still be the person you are, and don't change for nobody. Always be yourself and don't try to be anybody else. And the next one is faithfulness. And it says that in Psalms 36, verse 5, it says, "The mercy, O Lord, I send, the heavens and the faithfulness reach out into the clouds." And what's faithfulness? Faithfulness is where you put your faith to works, I would say. Faithfulness is where you're having faith in God to believe that, every word, you have that in your heart. And that's a good fruit. When you have faith in God, and when you have faith in good things, when you have faith in just achieving anything that's good that don't contradict the word, those are one of the good spirits in you, because we should all be having faith in God. We shouldn't be putting our faith to anything else. It shouldn't be anything else we put our faith to. What's the opposite of faithfulness? I would say, you putting your faith to the devil. You're believing in him more. You're working for him more. And when you're working for him more, you're not having these fruits of the Spirit. You're having the opposite. So we should all be having faithfulness in our heart towards God. We should all be having faith towards doing positive and good things that doesn't go against God. And those are, again, one of the fruits of the Spirit. The next one is gentleness. And I'm going to go into this one. And what I was saying was gentleness. I'm going to go into this one because I know a lot of people struggle with gentleness. Even sometimes myself, I could struggle with gentleness because, sometimes people do things on purpose. And it's not really people. Again, it's demons that work through people. And to try to get you out of character. And that's when you let the devil win. And that's why we got to have gentleness. And those are one of the fruits of the Spirit. And it says in Ephesians 4:11, "Walk in a manner worthy of the calling which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness." When you're gentle, you're not really all that rough. And it doesn't have to mean you're being feminine. If you're a man, it doesn't have to mean you're LGBT, you know what I want to say. Or it doesn't mean that, you're soft. You're just having a gentle tone, you having a gentle heart, and you have a gentle way of working with people. And it doesn't mean that you're soft or nothing. I wouldn't say that word, but it just means, you're carrying a good spirit around you. You know how to be gentle instead of being all crazy all around like other people do. You know how to, have a certain tone when you talk to people. You know how to, treat people right even when they treat you wrong. You know how to be gentle with them and not be quick to anger, because it talks about that in the Bible. Don't be quick to anger. Don't stir up wrath so fast, And those are one of the fruits of the Spirit, is being gentleness. And we should all have gentleness in our heart, because this world lacks that. This especially this new generation lacks it, because Satan is coming for more people, because his time is finna be up. We're living in the end time, so he's trying to get everybody on his side. And for me, working for God, I'm trying to get you guys out of his side, and I'm trying to get you guys to Christ's side, because it's not worth being on the devil's side. It comes with problems. It's deceiving. All he does is make you feel pleasure here. All he does is make you feel pleasure here and then you got to suffer later. We all reap what we sow, and it's not worth suffering when you could just surrender to God and be blessed by godly things and not chase after things that you want, but be patient. And again, those are one of the fruits of spirit, and God will bless you with what you need, and He'll give you the desires of your heart if it doesn't go against His word. Because sometimes God could say no to some of our prayers, because those prayers God doesn't want us to have. Some of them He knows he knows everything. So He knows whatever you praying, He knows what to answer and He knows what not to answer. We could be praying for something that we don't need, something that's gonna make us hurt down the line, something that's gonna, just bring us problems, and He have His way of saying no. And that's why we gotta have discernment on what to ask for and what not to ask for, because we could be asking for the wrong thing that destroy our lives. And what's the next one? This is the last one. Self-control. I'm going to go into this one, bro. And I'm going to go into this one. This is the last one. Self-control. And it says that in 2 Timothy 1 verse 7. For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. Now, when you have self-control, you know when to say no, and you know when to say yes. When you have self-control, you know how to control your emotions. You know how to balance them. Even though we may get mad, you'll have a kind of self-control to know how to slow down. When you don't have self-control, you're just spiraling out of control. You're just all over the place. You're just getting mad. You're popping off very easily. Just cursing people out easily. You can even be threatening somebody, wanting to hurt somebody, wanting to kill somebody, and that's not self-control. When you have self-control, the fruits of the spirit, right? It brings all of these: patience, love, joy, peace, goodness, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, and it's a whole more list. When you have self-control, you know how to control what you're doing. And for example, if you're a woman, you have self-control, right? You don't want to lust. You don't want to probably, have intercourse. And if a brother come towards you and try to make you fall into that, you'll have self-control to say no. And it goes for the same thing as a man, right? If you're a man and you're walking with Christ, and there's a woman that comes your way, and she wants you to fall into lust. She wants you to, have sex, I wouldn't say that word, but have intercourse. You'll have self-control to be like, nah, I'm good until I'm married, and I will just want to be friends. I know this new generation is totally different, and everybody want to, lust and do their thing. And I was like that, definitely. I was definitely like that. And God took it out of me. He definitely took it out of me. I could tell He took it out of me, and you'll know when He take it out of you, when you find yourself starting to slow down. Even if He haven't took it out of you yet, you'll find yourself starting to slow down day by day with lust. And then you'll find yourself not even doing it. You'll find yourself not even having that desire. You'll find yourself having the desire to want to, have a Christ-like relationship, get married, and not just be in a relationship for pleasure, and not just be in a marriage just to marry that girl to lust, or not just for her looks. You should want to be in a marriage to want to keep God first, have it last until you guys die, And I know it's hard to find one of those nowadays, but God will bless you, and you have to have discernment on which people are coming your way. And you have to have discernment on who to know is for you. And, again, the devil could send the wrong people your way just to throw you off track. And that's why we got to have that discernment in us to know when to say no and when to say yes. When to say, okay, I don't want to do this. And, you got to let things go. You got to let things go that you really love. And like I was saying, you got to let things go that you love. And, that was the fruits of the Spirit. like, sub, share, and follow. And I'm going to be posting more of these videos. I wish I could have made the video longer, but it kind of cut me off. So, I love you guys. Keep the full armor on, whatever you do. And keep God first. Peace.